What's up, guys? I hope you've recovered from the long weekend of the final weekend of the regular season in the LCS. 5 different tiebreakers. You had to stay up in the wee hours of the morning to catch it all. But now we've had a couple days to rest, rejuvenate, and come back even stronger so that we can talk about MVPs after 9 weeks in the LCS season. And I feel like pretty much every 3 weeks there was someone new who was the front runner for MVP this split. In EU, it's been pretty clear cut who's going to take home MVP. Most likely going to be the Swedish Superman Reckless. But in NA, I feel like it's a little bit more open. And again, it's been flipsy-flopsy, tipsy-turvy throughout the entire split about who's going to take home that award. You look at someone like Mr. Bjergsen. Maybe you heard of this guy on a little-known team called Team Solo Mid. They struggled so mightily early on in the split, but the last 6 weeks, really, Bjergsen has been absolutely insane in that mid lane. During that win streak for TSM, you see some of these numbers here, 8.5 KDA, that's second in the entire league, behind, of course, his teammate Sven, who had 8.8. And his last 6 games, Bjergsen's only gotten 29 kills, 3 deaths, and 33 assists, which is absolutely disgusting, and one of the main reasons why TSM was able to go up to that 3rd spot heading into the playoffs. This guy's already got 4 MVP awards in NA. Nobody else even has 2. So maybe people get bored voting for him again for getting that 5th one. But I think because of the struggles that TSM had in the earlier moments of the splits, that probably takes a bit of a hit at his chances of getting MVP, and the fact that he's playing with an absolutely insane lineup. I mean, you got Sven in that bottom lane. Haunter has been fantastic in that top lane for the most part for TSM. I think just because of how star-studded that lineup is, that'll probably take a little bit away from Bjergsen. Whether or not that's fair, that's up for debate, but I mean, you still got a guy like Sven who's been playing pretty darn well the last little while for TSM. But all those concerns about Bjergsen, with new EU mid lane talent, he's going to show he's not even that good. He can't keep up with these other guys, the Febivins and the PoEs. Well, he can keep up just fine, and he's still one of, if not the best mid laner in NA, even though he's from EU, as we all love to discuss. But I don't think he's actually the front runner for the MVP award going forward. We got to talk about the 100 Thieves, just because they stole that top spot in NA, going 3-0 in Week 9. 2 wins against Echo Fox. Yeah, they were kind of using their subs, but this is a team that was kind of under the radar for much of the split. They had a great start, and then they had a pretty serious slump in the middle where they're dropping games to Golden Guardians, going on 4-game losing streaks, and then they came up huge, 9-1 to close out the regular season, and the man who has helped guide them there and been the driving force is Afromu in that bottom lane. And the numbers aren't going to jump out at you, and that's kind of the case when you're looking at a support. But I just love when these guys are getting acknowledged for MVP votes. You saw Smoothie earlier on in the split was getting some serious contention for that award. He definitely fell off a bit the last couple of weeks, as well as Cloud9 going 1-3, dropping all the way to 5th. But Afromu, 3.5 KDA. Not crazy, but look at that first blood percentage. Over 31% from the bottom lane. That's the 2nd highest out of any of the supports in the entire league. Him and Meteos just get everything rolling for this squad. They are far and away the playmakers on this team, and you've seen his communication, what he does for the team. He's clearly the main shot caller. I mean, I don't know what you want to include in your MVP criteria, but what this guy does, not necessarily right on the rift, what he does in terms of communication and just outside of the game in general, just making personalities mesh together. These calls around the Baron, don't hit it, wait for the Cho'Gath to flash in, and then just absolutely destroy him. He'll spam his CC. On these hook champions, Thresh and Blitzcrank, he's absolutely insane. So whenever the meta can shift towards him able to play those kind of champions, and obviously the Rakan, this guy is clearly the leader for this squad, and just he's tilt-proof. He seems tilt-proof. Even last split, people, myself included, I kind of thought maybe he's not quite what he was in his prime on CLG, but boy, when you go on a new squad, he seems totally revitalized, playing with some new players and new organization. hitting it up with nade shot. He looks absolutely fantastic. And I mean, it's pretty typical that an MVP comes from the top team from the regular season. And if you're going to give it to someone on 100 Thieves, I think you got to give it to the vocal leader, the shot caller, Aphromoo in that bottom lane. I think he's the front runner for MVP. And I would love to see a support take home that honor, because it's not as easy as just looking at the numbers and saying, well, he's got an insane KDA. He does the most damage in the game. He gets the most gold in every game. So look at that. That's why he does the most damage, because he's always the most fed. It's a little bit harder when you're support and you're just hoping on those support items to grant you some gold. And one of the main problems Aphromoo had last split with CLG was he was just warding on his own, face-checking, dying way too much. His deaths are way down this split, so he has put up a fantastic performance for 100 Thieves, and I wouldn't be surprised if Aphromoo takes home MVP for the 2018 Spring Split in North America.